Hello and welcome to ET Education exclusive conversation where we will dive into thought-provoking dialogues with some of the most influential leaders in education and beyond. This is your space to explore bold ideas, gain unique insights, some candid conversations uncovering the trends shaping the future of learning. At the moment, I am sitting next to very influential leader in education ecosystem. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. My first question to you is, you once stated, we want the education by which character is formed. In your opinion, what should be the framework of such an education system look like?
Thank you for the opportunity. So that statement is actually made by Swami Vivekananda. I've quoted him, in which he says, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect expanded, and by which one can stand on his own feet.
Absolutely.
So the education should encompass all these aspects. We must teach how to stand on one's own feet. Whatever it is you teach, it should be good. Whether you teach somebody to be a doctor, an engineer, a manager, a singer, an accountant, a journalist, you must teach the skills of the trade so that the person is extremely good and can earn so that he or she can stand on their feet. So that's point one. But education should be more than that. Education should be one that expands one's mind. It should be able to, one should see the world around you. Today, if you see a lot of social media, it closes your mind. Are you teaching and exposing the student such that their worldview is expanded? Whether their intellect is expanded? And third is, are you teaching the child or the student to have a mind that stays calm in a turbulent world? And so these are the things that need to be there. In Hindi, you would say Pesha, Soch or Charitra. You need to teach all. So character is formed is Charitra. And if you want great citizens of a family, society, country and world, you need all of these aspects.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Glad to hear your thoughts on this. So, moving ahead, as an alumnus of Ivy League's Harvard University, how would you compare the approach and ecosystem of Ivy League institution with your own institute?
So, thank you again for that question. I studied at Cornell and Harvard, and I always wanted to, I had not been much, but I just thought these are world-class institutions, I would love to study there. At that time, it was an interesting conversation I had with my grandfather when he said, why don't you study here? And I told him that was world-class. So he said, then make our institutions like the one you want to attend. So then what is that? So I think those are great institutions. They build places of inquiry, build places of discovery, and they expose you to a wide way of thinking and one in which you think for yourself. As our own institution, we must learn to create institutions that again open people's minds and make them think for themselves and think of how to innovate, how to do these things. But in our approach to try and learn from them, we should be careful not to become like them. We are living in our own heritage, our own history, our own context. So we have to learn the best from the best in the world and also see what best suits us. So we build also great institutions of the world for our own country and our own citizens.
Yeah, I agree, sir. Obviously, they have their legacy, but India do have some great institutions.
We have languages. We have richness of diversity of languages, cultures, religions, subjects. And you must understand, languages are also storehouses of culture.
Absolutely.
We are a multilingual country, diverse in our regions. So we must also see that multilingualism that we have spreads in terms of education both ways. So that knowledge is created, preserved and disseminated in English and all the richness of the Indian languages that we have.
Absolutely, sir. So moving towards a different angle now, with sustainability becoming the focal point in global education at the moment, how can higher education institutes play a pivotal role in advancing green technologies and fostering sustainable practices?
We have to bring sustainability in all we do.
Yeah.
You know what? First, you have to define what is sustainable. I think we have to look at social sustainability, environmental sustainability, and what is it that we want to sustain? We have to think about that also. What is it that we want to sustain? What is it that we want to build on? But I think your focus is primarily on environmental sustainability right now, your question, or climate change. I
Yeah,
think this is
right.
what you are right now
Right.
asking. I think you must expose the students to nature, to the wonderful biodiversity we have, and how rich it is. That's point one. Second is we should also expose them to the loss of habitat or diversity that is happening. And then we must start working on talking about whether it is in chemistry, can we use the principles of green chemistry? What are the principles of green chemistry? What is the default approach? We are currently living on a fossil-based, I will say, diet of the economy. This sustainable, green, renewable is an alternative. Can it be the reverse? Can we think of everything in terms of a renewable economy? Can we think of our renewable resources? Today, India is rich in the sun and the soil.
Yeah.
We have to start looking at, compared to the sun and let's say the oil economy versus the sun and the soil economy. This is what we have to look at. And so we have to build an understanding that today in an oil economy, you deplete, you extract, and you find another place. In the soil economy, you extract, but you can regenerate. Expose the students to agriculture, expose them to the world of the renewable economy. This is only through project-based learning and exposure that you can do it. So bring it, whether it's a green chemistry, how you do it, or whether it is in soils, it is across the board. It is a way of thinking. It is like you say, kick the oil habit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on your thoughts, sir. So moving ahead, that's my last question to you. If you were given the opportunity to introduce the transformative change in India's higher education system, what would it be and why?
I think the new education policy is actually a very good policy. It thinks in a far-reaching manner. I think we have to bring many of those concepts into our education system, depth of a particular field of knowledge, breadth and interdisciplinariness so that you can innovate, and at the same time create an opportunity where you expose the students to wholesome health, sports, experiential, aesthetics, language and culture, put it all together to make great citizens of the country and the world. And as I said, पेशा, सोच और चरित्र तीन को साथ में ले आओ.
Thank you so much for taking
Thank
out
you.
time talking to ET Education. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.